Time for the market report. Prices slipping down again.
That's right, Mike. Looks like grains just can't catch a rally, and we'll get into it. But first, the numbers. What were last week's biggest gains and losses? And then, in our row report, soybean prices still falling. Will Maple gives us an expert's thoughts on it. And finally, the latest crop progress report from the USDA. What did it say, and how does Mississippi stack up? So, markets closed last week on the downswing. Row crops the only bright spot. Let's take a look. Last week's biggest gain, wheat again, up 15.5 cents this time, a near 3% increase from the previous week. Last week's biggest loss, live cattle, down nearly 6.5 cents, a near 3.5% decrease from the previous week. This week in our row report, soybeans still the big story in row crops, prices slipping down and multiple factors the reason for it. I spoke with MSU Extension row crop economist Will Maples, who says supply is the biggest reason, but trade issues also at play.
So right now the big story soybean-wise on a national level is we got plenty of stocks right now. Last year was pretty good. This year is also looking pretty good. So as a result, we're going to have more than we need, therefore not enough to meet demand, therefore prices down.
Exactly. Well, so we'll have more than we need, and it's going to meet demand more so. And, you know, domestically, our domestic crush is still great. Domestic crush industry of soybeans is a bright spot. It's growing, but that export side of the equation, we're seeing China. We kind of saw them coming out of 2018. They shift trading partners to Brazil, and we're just seeing right now that they're going to buy beans from Brazil before they buy them from us. As long as prices get lower, maybe China might come into our soybean market a little bit better, help stabilize prices a little bit at these. So maybe they won't go any further lower, but we just got to see that piece of the puzzle get worked out, and we need that soybean export demand to increase. Cotton went below 70 cents this week. We're still seeing a lot of hot and dry weather out in West Texas in some major cotton growing regions. We'll just have to keep an look on through August, what impact that might have. But just like the grain markets, cotton's struggling. There's a demand issue there. China's the biggest purchaser of U.S. cotton. We saw the Chinese government cut interest rates last week just a little bit, but they still had a rate cut, which is, you know, we've kind of heard issues with their economies slowing down. That interest rate cut maybe be a signal that, you know, they need some more help. They're trying to get their economy back going. So just the demand side on cotton is still a big piece in that export market.
That seems to be the trend for all the row crops right now. Prices low, hard time to be a farmer and trying to make a profit on this stuff. I guess weather is the only real factor that's going to determine whether or not prices go back up again.
In the short term, yes, but unfortunately, we're even getting towards the end of where the weather is going to be a major factor. So June and July for corn's the main months that weather will really shock a corn market. We're past that. It's going to take a hurricane, major storm, some unexpected event going forward to really drive any type of weather scare on these markets, unfortunately.
The USDA recently released this month's crop progress report, August the time right before harvest begins in earnest. So, how do things look on a national level, and how does Mississippi stack up with other major ag-producing states? Here are the details. In the top 18 corn-producing states, silking is 88%, slightly less than August last year. Denting is 7%, about the same as last year. Crop condition mostly in good shape, with 67% of this year's crop reporting good or excellent conditions. In the top 18 soybean-producing states, flower blooming 86%, less than last year. Setting pods at 59%, also less than this time last year. Crop condition looking up, with 68% reporting good or excellent conditions. In the top 15 cotton-producing states, squaring, the pre-boll stage, is 98%, slightly ahead of last year. Setting boll stage at 60%, also ahead of last year. Condition more mixed, however, with only 41% of the crop reporting good or excellent. Mississippi is one of those top states, so how does it stack up? In soybeans, conditions are mostly positive, with 71% of the crop reporting good or excellent condition. In cotton, a similar story with 56% of the crop reporting good or excellent. And in rice, 60% of the crop reporting good or excellent conditions. Extension Director Dr. Angus Catchott tells us how it looks on the ground.
Oh, market-wise, I think right now we have fairly low commodity prices, and that's always something we have to deal with. It's cyclic. We run through these things. But I would say overall our crops do look good. We need to have a good harvest. We still got a little ways to go. We've already, I think you heard on the field day today, we've already started cutting corn in a few places. Some of that may not be our best corn, but we're getting into it now. But with the rains we got recently, I think it's going to look good for the cotton crop. Of course, you always want higher prices. We can't help that. But overall, I think we're still doing good. Spirits are good, but it's just farming.
And that's it for a deeper look into the markets. Row crops looking for a reason to rebound, but just can't seem to find one yet.